Tempo Karate.
Hier spricht Tassilo Jung von Western Extreme Wrestling.
This is the Dark Child, Chance Crawford, NWA National Heavyweight Champion. This is the Temptation, Sean Tempers.
This is Jacoby Boykins, a.k.a. the Alabama Ambassador, Mr. 256.
This is the Bee's Knees, the Casper Pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano.
This is Bill Darrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside. And you are a better person for it. Trust me.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off.
Phenomenal Sunday afternoon. Going to make it a great Sunday night. Greetings, good evening, how you doing? Welcome to your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk. This is Beyond Ringside, live from the Vault in the Full Range Entertainment Studios on a beautiful summer Sunday night. Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel. Mark Mabo Bowman, come on board.
Yeah, I'm going to be in a committed relationship with a woman before I let anybody spit chewing tobacco on me.
Okay, before we get into it, Mabo has had possibly a wasp sting that has swollen up a little bit, so we're looking for true workable remedies.
Yeah, minus spitting
or tobacco.
Poopy, urine. I don't have any witch hazel in the house, so don't ask to, use that.
There you go.
Most I've got is I put alcohol on it and ice pack.
Okay.
So, guys, if I sound muffled or if at any point Eddie's talking to me and then he just stops, it's because I've either had to go throw up or diarrhea because I'm running a fever,
right?
Or I have asphyxiated on the air. So that'd be a big treat, but not like the autoerotic asphyxiation that Mike Tenay enjoys, allegedly.
Allegedly. Boy, we worry about you sometimes.
Hey, don't worry about me. Worry about Mike today with the plastic bag over his head while he's watching Little Rascals or something, allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay, real quick. We're in the middle of a remod here at the studio, and I understand that there is a major hum going through the system right now, so please bear with us. That hum will not be there when we set up for the podcast, and the replays are done a little bit later. Got weird day, busy day, and that's the easy way to put it. I know that coming up in about an hour and 23 minutes from right now, of course, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, Impact Wrestling is going to have their pay-per-view Destination X. We're going to be talking about that in just a little while. And also, coming up at the top of the 7 o'clock Central Time Hour, 8 o'clock Eastern, we are going to be joined by Richie Guerin of Cage Sport Mixed Martial Arts. They've got a major event coming up Saturday, July the 14th, up in Tacoma. And looking forward to that. We're going to be getting with Richie a little bit later to find out about all the great things going on with Cage Sport. I believe it is Cage Sport 20 that is going to be taking place on the 14th.
I'm aware.
Washington.
So you got to give out the freaking names of the states too, dude.
I do that every once in a while.
Yeah, but they could be a Tacoma, Washington, and somebody in Tacoma, Tennessee is going to be like, well, I thought it said it was going to be here. They're based out in the southeast with the Beyond Ringside. There ain't no what's going on here, no cage fighting.
Just because we're based out of Birmingham, Alabama, doesn't mean we just cover stuff in the southeast.
Well, I know that, and you know that, but the slack-jawed yokels don't know that.
And welcome to everybody who's listening for the first time. Thank you for coming on board. Oh, man, it's been crazy. First off, I want to give a very heartfelt thank you to everybody who came out to the Palmerdale Homestead Community Center last night for Global Championship Wrestling. CW21 TV taping had a great time last night. Some huge matches, and some of them are going to be on television. I'll leave it at that. I would like to follow up real quick. I don't want to cut you off, but I haven't made it through the entire show yet. But the Corey Hollis Chip Day match. Yep. Very phenomenal on the TV show that came on last night. Like I said, I haven't made it past that. Right. I don't think. But I can tell you right now, like I said, Corey Hollis Chip Day, Jimmy Rave approved members, and they showed why.
very reminiscent of a strong style match at one point. But yeah, if these two kids aren't permanently booked with someplace like Ring of Honor, hint, hint, you can afford it now, Kenny King gone, then I suggest Courthouse Chip Day. You know what, just go ahead and bring in all Jimmy Rave crew. I mean, who needs the Embassy, what is it, Embassy Limited, Inc., the Flip, the Flop, the whatever. I mean, they ain't got nobody. And House of Truth is just, you know, that's just a Wicked Nemesis ripoff, even though I think House of Truth came first. Doesn't matter.
No, I think Wicked Nemesis hit first.
You sure? I think Truth Martini might have been around before Wicked.
I'm probably going to disagree with that to a great degree.
Maybe as a manager, but I know as a worker, as you know, in the ring.
Okay.
Truth Martini, I want to say, has been around.
And let me go ahead and say, Wicked Nemesis is not going to be joining us this week. He has family situations in play, and if there's anything that anybody on this show always knows that I'm going to say, his family does come first.
And I'm going to be all sad because Wicked's not here.
Just don't get mopey on me. There's nothing worse than a mopey Mabo.
He would have sent the Bohemian Grove vibes over here to make the stinger go away. He would have slapped the stinger out of my face.
Yeah, he would have.
And I would have been like, "Thank you, sir. I feel better now." And then I would kick him in the balls.
I kicked him in the Rochambeau. There you go.
Oh, I'd be like, "My turn now."
You hit one hit, I hit the other.
Because once again, also falls into the same one. Nobody's going to slap me in the face unless I'm in a committed relationship with a woman, and I asked her to. And
there's still not going to be any tobacco spit involved, right?
No, and the safe word will be Oklahoma.
Okay, I'm officially worried about you, Mark. That's all I can say.
Hey, I'm going to blame anything I say tonight. I'm blaming on the stinger, the poison from the stinger, not that one, but the actual one that came off the insect. I'm going to blame that on getting infected in my brain. So,
okay, that works.
We've now been covered liability. Moving on, Eddie. Did you hear about that Kenny King guy?
Yeah, I did. Go ahead and pick it up. I know what you're talking about. Go ahead and run it.
Really? You're going to ask me? I'm sitting here with half my face covered in ice, and I can barely talk. And you're going to ask me to? It's like I got bukkake from Frosty the Snowman over here. Anyway,
oh God.
Cough button. Anyway, for those of you who don't know and were a little bit shocked and surprised this past Thursday night on Impact, Kenny King, one half of the ROH Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, showed up for the Destination X qualifying hoop-de-doo.
Right.
And I think, didn't he take him on a Lars? Oh God, and we're going to get yelled at too. Was it Lars only?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't know if you saw the exchange, but
yes, I did.
On behalf of Danny only, he wants me to let all of you guys know that he is the only.
He's the real only.
Yeah, he's the only, not even the real only. He's just the only.
He's the actual only.
And yeah, and for those wondering who Lars only was, if you don't already know, that was believe it or not, a someone who was highly touted by a guest 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, I don't even remember. Kevin Douglas.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
That was Johnny Yuma.
Speaking of, not necessarily speaking of Johnny Yuma, but you got me started thinking about something. 1 week from tonight.
Well, can I finish the Kenny King thing?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Anyway, so he shows up, and Corny and the Ring of Honor crew, they get their panties in a bunch, and I just know that there's, and Eddie, you'll have to get all legalese and stuff here. But I just know that it was something about a handshake agreement, but then there was a verbal extension or something, and he was like, well, Kenny King was like, I don't believe your extension, but I'm telling you what I'm going to do. And, you know, and he did it. I mean, he actually said in his statement that I couldn't have told him anything. He said, and I quote, they could have just waited until I walked my black butt down to the ring. So that's what he said in the statement. Go read it on Lords of Pain.
I have seen it.
But, I mean, what do you think, Eddie? I mean, in one situation, I'm happy for Kenny King. I mean, they put the tag, they put the tag belts on him with Red Titus.
Yeah.
ANX. Yeah, ANX had him go over, wrestling's greatest tag team. And
okay.
but to get a chance, like I said, I don't know what issues is going on with, backstage, as far as contracts and stuff. I mean, I'll read about the dirt, and who hates who and who's sleeping with who and all that, just because it reminds me of high school, and
it really does.
And it kind of makes me glad I never got back into the business, into the business back in the day, because it was very close to happening. For those who don't know, but it's just. I just reminds me of high school, but I'm glad he got to showcase himself. And apparently, he was with TNA before, I guess.
Yes.
Right after he got let go from WWF after Tough Enough or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I think even a handshake and a verbal agreement is, to me personally, puts you at being a man of your word, whether you feel it's shady or not. You wait till you look at the written contract first before you make a decision.
Right.
But you keep working on that verbal agreement until you sit there and you sit down with your lawyers and their lawyers and them, and you sit there and you look over the paper and you go, you know what, I'll work out the rest of this verbal agreement.
Now.
And then, but I mean, I'm happy the kid got to be on TV. So.
Okay. From my vantage point, it's amazing enough that the company that is in the middle of all this is called Ring of Honor. And I'm going to say this. Everybody knows the company with which I work here in Alabama.
No, they don't.
Okay. Long-time listeners do.
Aww.
And we don't have written contracts to a great degree. Some of us do, some of us don't. But there is always, there you go. There is always in place for lack of a better term, a gentleman's agreement.
Or a code of honor.
There you go. If he wasn't booked, if they did not run a show on the night, if ROH didn't run a show on the night that Impact was being taped, or live, sorry, I'm used to them being taped still, after all this time.
Yeah.
If he left an ROH booking for a TNA booking, that's wrong. He's being put over as one half of the tag team champions. If they didn't have a show on the night of the Impact live event, that's one thing. That's an entirely different animal altogether. However, when you are being put over and you are the holder of a company's championship, single or tag, you know where I'm going with this. I would sit back and say, for as much as the fact that Impact draws an 08 or an 09 or a 1.2 on its good days, and Ring of Honor is still struggling in the ratings, considering the fact that it's marginal as far as Sinclair markets go, which is no fault of ROH.
Which I think honestly, they're doing pretty good on their ratings as far as, like you said, as far as their distribution.
Right. Would I have done the show? I would have had to give it a lot of consideration. This would not have been a knee-jerk reaction. I'm without a written contract. If there is a handshake agreement in place saying, I'm going to work out the rest of the storyline as far as the way things go with me being one half of the tag team champions.
Drop the belts.
Yeah. Well, he didn't appear on Impact with the ROH tag title belt, did he?
No, which is another thing he even told them, goes back to Ring of Honor knew what he was doing. He told them, he said, don't worry, I'm not going to show up and drop the belts like Medusa.
Right.
So.
See, a lot of people are still scared about moments like that, and I think that, and it's no secret, for as much as I loved Medusa Michelli in the ring, I think the way that she handled the situation with the WWF Women's Championship belt was a complete load of crap.
I mean, well, can you blame them? I mean, especially with TV shows being live now. I mean, at least, if it was taped, maybe Ring of Honor, somebody could have got back to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor could have put a gag order or something on them or something, or, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. We'd have to call Howard C. Cross in on this, but I don't know the legalese, so to speak, of, could they have put a gag order on it? Could they have stopped the tape? If that was company property, anything like that, I don't know.
Here's one of my major issues with this. Kenny King. Let's see. What was the final result of the match?
Kenny King won, and he's going to be in the in the quarterfinals, and then it's going to be a 4-way Ultimate X match for the belt. Okay. Because it's going to be 3 matches, and then there's going to be a second chance, I guess, Battle Royal or 8-way or whatever. Yeah, we're going to cover that a little bit more in depth in just a little while. Here's the thing. Kenny King did not, A, carry the ROH Tag Team title belt onto Impact TV. 2, he didn't do anything to disrespect the fact that he is one half of the ROH Tag Team Champions of the world. Because he didn't just walk on and get a smash job done on him. They didn't put him against somebody like Abyss or Bully Ray where they're going to be run over. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to go on to a competitor's television show, and that's what ROH and Impact are. They are competition. Legitimately, whether you like it or not, they are competition. If Kenny King would have walked onto Impact Television and wrestled to a 20-minute inside cradle loss, but you turned in one hell of a match, if I'm ROH, do I really get ticked about it? Because anybody, on any given day, anybody can be beat. True, false, true. But he did nothing to disrespect the fact that he's a tag team champion, other than the fact of appearing on the competition. Okay, let's pull it like this. Well, and Eddie, real quick, there was no mention. He didn't, in his post-match interview, he didn't say anything. He just talked about, I mean, the only thing Taz was the only one that made mention of his past. And he said that Kenny King, Taz, because Taz, if I'm not mistaken, Taz was one of the trainers.
Right.
Kenny King was there. Or at least Taz, Taz was talking like he knew him from, the WWF days. And then he said that Kenny King is back with us. So apparently at some point Kenny King was, in the early days of TNA.
He did.
Kenny King was with him.
He did.
Okay. So other than that, and he did a post-match interview with somebody. Borash? The little tramp. Hemi.
Okay.
So he made no mention of Ring of Honor. So in that aspect, he was no pun intended, honorable enough to at least not bury the old company.
Right. In this particular circumstance, the only thing that I can sit back and say, if there was a gentleman's agreement, if there was an honorable agreement between King and somebody at ROH, then King should not have made the appearance. I don't begrudge anybody making a payday. I really don't. I don't begrudge anybody getting an opportunity at national television. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If, Sports Center wants to do a special piece and they call either Wicked or Mark and want them to be a special consultant, I'm going, bye. Go. Have fun. Do the show.
And I'm going to question them why they wanted me on the show.
Well, you're a very intelligent person getting past all the other stuff. You're a very knowledgeable individual, and I've said that from square one. That's why I really enjoy. Plus the fact that you're entertaining as hell. You're very witty, very comical. I'll expect that.
Did you get stung in the side of the head too?
No, but I'll take a money order. I don't take checks.
Really? I love checks, especially the little brown ones. They're delicious.
That would be the snack food and or the breakfast cereal, which Mabo is now responsible for getting on as a corporate sponsor.
Anyway, back to Kenny King.
Like I said, if there was an agreement in place, then he's wrong for making the appearance because it is a competitor's product.
Yeah.
Now, transpose things into Vince in Vinny Land.
Which, I've got a little side note for that, but keep going.
Do you think for a second McMahon would stand for somebody who's just gotten out of a contract, unless it's Christian or Kurt Angle, immediately making an appearance on a competitor's television show?
Well, here's the thing. If the contract is truly over, if the 90 days is over, then he can't say anything. You know what I'm saying?
Can't say a word.
Christian's 90-day was up. You know what I'm saying?
Christian didn't have a 90-day. Christian had a 60-day.
Was it a 60-day? Anyway, Christian's was up, so that's why he could have showed up right then. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Vince can stomp his feet and punch a puppy or whatever he does when he gets angry. I mean, yeah, you're taking your career into your own hands when you do that. When you burn that bridge with WWE. I mean, we know that there's a few people who are literally. I know at one point Macho was literally barred.
Persona non grata, yeah.
Yes, Warrior, same thing, persona non grata. Who else? Who else is still? Does anybody remember Nails, the convict?
Yeah.
Yep. Because allegedly he choked Vince or something way before Brett thought it was cool.
Oh, really?
He definitely, to this day, at least Warrior and Macho Man get mentions and all that stuff. Why? Because Macho Man legend, Warrior, really, 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 really good. I mean, not in ring or on the mic, just presence-wise.
Presence-wise, yeah, I'll agree with that.
But yeah, so you take the chances. But once again, Vince can't. If give me somebody, Zack Ryder. If Zack Ryder's contract ends and there's no 60-30-90, or he's out, contract ends and there's no 60-30-90. If he wants to, show up on TNA, Impact, it's Colt Ryder, copyright Mabo, 2012. Then he can, and Vince can't say anything.
Like I said, there's a lot of independent variables involved in the circumstance.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also like you said, from a business standpoint, it was shardy. It was. From being happy for the cat,
hell yeah.
Hey, rock on. I mean, he's still a young kid. You know what I'm saying? He's still a young kid. And he's got his, he's getting his chance to, shine on a national level.
Yes.
Possibly a worldwide. So it's one of those double-edged swords.
Well, like I said, all things considered, I'm just going to sit back and say this: ROH is now going to have to find new tag team champions. I have a feeling
probably put them back on World's Greatest Tag Team or the Briscoes for now.
Probably put them on the Briscoes. But see, I would never have broken up Future Shock.
Yeah, they did break up Future Shock,
which really sucks. Because personally, I liked the way that they were coming together.
Yeah.
And for longtime listeners of the show, my only bitch about Future Shock was the factor of what one particular so-called internet-based journalist decided to rip Mike Posey and Corey Hollis in a match with Future Shock, when I watched the match, and if you want to talk about botches going on, it was Future Shock that was committing more botches than Posey and Hollis.
But also, Eddie, you got to realize and we've, even to some degree, we've been guilty of it. There's a lot of armchair wrestlers, wrestling fans, or whatever you want to call it, road agents.
Yeah, really.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody's going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, this." I mean, I've been guilty of it. I wouldn't have done that. I would have done this. But that's my opinion. Is it right? Sometimes, yes. Is it wrong? Sometimes, not really. But that's beside the point. So, it's, I don't know. But, are we through with the Kenny King thing?
We can be.
Okay, because I'm about to pull it up. I'm about to be Paul Blart and pull out a segue. You ready?
Yes.
But speaking of, I find it kind of ironic that TNA is doing the okie doke on Ring of Honor with Kenny King, yet they're throwing out lawsuits against the WWE for allegedly stealing talent or getting the inside when contracts are about up. Like they did with Flair and who else just ended contract? I don't know. Anyway,
dramatic pause for effect.
Hey, wasp stinger in the side of my head. Okay, wasp stinger. But it was Ric Flair or somebody else that WWE was having issues with. I think, I don't know. Anyway, so they're suing WWE for that, and one has to wonder. And it kind of this is the segue. Here we go. Paul Blart, you ready? Segueing from that into word going around is that WWE is looking to snipe Dragon Gate USA and get Johnny Gargano, Sami Callihan, and they said over in Japan there was a gentleman, the man that gravity forgot, Pac.
Yes.
Said that in Japan recently, I think maybe this week or whatever, he stood in the middle of the ring and bowed to all four corners of the ring as if to say, farewell to the company. Right. And they said that only happens when somebody is on the way out. So, and he's had a tryout. Like I said, Gargano's had a tryout, and they liked him. Moxley's already there. Sammy Callahan, who did you have him on the show?
We tried that.
Okay. Well, anyway, Sammy Callahan, a lot of the American Dragon Gate USA people, WWE's looking to snipe. So, bad boys, what you gonna do? I mean, I personally, by the way, I want my own segment. We're gonna do it right now. Okay, you ready?
Can we do it after the top of the hour?
Okay, but I want some newsroom music, so you got to look it up.
Good luck with that. Folks, hang tight. We're going to go to the top of the hour break. We'll be back in 5 right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
This is Awesome Austin Creed, the smartest man in this industry called pro wrestling, the valedictorian of this business. You are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
8. I deliver your Sunday paper every week.
7. We work on the same floor.
1 in 8 Americans is struggling with hunger.
6. Our kids walk to school together every day,
including millions of children and seniors.
5. We chat in the elevator at work sometimes.
4. I'm your cashier at the grocery store.
Who's the 1 in 8 in your life that needs help? You can make a difference through Feeding America at feedingamerica.org/1 in 8. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Most days go by without a whole lot of surprises. But what if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life, as you know it, has completely turned on its head? Would you be prepared? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
This is Jim Cornette. You are locked into the show of all time, Beyond Ringside.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Tony Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul Ellering, and you're locked into Beyond the Ringside.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, you know I've had a drink problem, and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't do, I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Listen up, this is the NWA North American Heavyweight Champion, the Temptation Sean Tempers, and right now, you are locked in with Beyond Ringside.
Let me try.
Okay, just remember what I showed you.
Yep, there was a bunny who had one big ear and another big ear. They looped-a-looped, made a bow, and the bunny hopped away. I did it!
Oh, good job, kiddo. Now let's tie your other shoe.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Ben Masters, locking it down with Beyond Ringside. Don't miss it. Be there.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit adoptuskids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Welcome to the original Rockin' Wrestling Radio Show. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your source for wrestling, MMA, and boxing in the Southeast. To contact the Ringside Roundtable of Beyond Ringside, email them at beyondringside@gmail.com. And now, your host for Beyond Ringside, the man, no myth, all legend, Fast Eddie Lay.
On a beautiful summer Sunday night, welcome in. You got us live from the Full Range Entertainment Studios in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you, Mike Macaroni, the cheesiest announcer in the business. Always a pleasure to hear the dulcet tones. Like to welcome in tag team partner, the one, the only, Mark Mabo Bowman.
You know, you think you know a guy for years, and then he says one little thing off the air, and then you call everything you know about him into question. And I mean, he's even as tall as them people.
There you go. Thank you for checking us out through BeyondRingside.com. To everybody who's been listening through the podcast and the replay, greatly appreciated. Always great to hear all the feedback coming in from everybody. Join us on Facebook, Facebook.com/BeyondRingsideLive. That is the fan page. If you look at the friends page, Facebook.com/BeyondRingside, please note 5,000 plus people on the friends list. I can't approve anymore. Please go to the fan page. Twitter.
But just know, people, you'll always be our friends in our heart.
Yes.
Well, in Eddie's heart, not mine. I don't give a damn about you people.
Hell damn ass. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, also on Twitter, at Beyond Ringside. One word, run it all together. Tag team partner in absentia right now, Wicked Nemesis, on Family Detail this afternoon, which probably means he's procreating again, knowing him.
Oh, that man is a fertile myrtle. He is not going to be happy until there's every child in the world walking around with a mohawk.
At least a 6-inch mohawk in the junior version. Yes, we know.
And by the way, I got something to say real quick. To the guy on DC Universe Online who sat there and totally copied my Enoch Kassarian villain, I'm talking blonde mohawk, red eyes, the only thing, red tie, black shirt. The only thing is he made the sports coat and the slacks red. Other than that, looked just like the one I have for Wicked Nemesis as a villain. And you know what? To him, you can suck it.
There you go.
Jerk.
If I may, as we are just past the top of the hour, I want to remind everybody that Richie Guerin from Cageport Mixed Martial Arts is going to be joining us at about 52 minutes from right now, just after the top of the 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern Time hour. Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, pay-per-view Destination X coming up in just a little while. Going to be looking to the chat room in just a minute to see what's going on. And if you're in our chat room this evening, predictions, love to hear them from you. From that vantage point, also want to send shout-outs to tag team partners in absentia and alumni members. Brooks Logan, hope things are going well. Paulie Wells, hope you enjoyed the move back to Mississippi. And actually, we were scheduled to be joined. Actually, let me go ahead and say this one also. Alumni member, Mr. MCO Chase Pearson, on vacation down in the Sunshine State of Florida right now. Chaser, I hope you're having a good time down there, buddy. Also, want to say a very special hello to a longtime friend of mine, Birmingham's original radio action guy, Robbie Rags. Robbie, thank you for checking us out this afternoon. Great to hear from you this week, my friend. A lot of things going on in more ways than one.
Wait, you're going to mention everybody, but not mention one guy.
And also, I would like to say it was great to see Two Tons last night at the GCW event in Palmerdale. Tunsy, always great to see you, man.
Okay, yeah, great. That's not him. Think about it. Who did you leave out?
Actually, we were originally scheduled to be joined by Jason Coleman of the Bev Nerd podcast. A lot of friends here in the Southeast are going to know him as Cabana Man Dan. Had a family situation come into play, and he will be joining us here on Beyond Ringside in the very near future.
Wow, you are like missing every one of them. Unless you said it, and we need to go check the replay. I don't recall hearing it. Once again, poison from the wasp stinger. Who's the one guy that has to share a microphone with this bastard?
And, of course, the Horseman's Advocate, Andy Hudson.
There you go.
Okay. Andrew.
By the way, I need to talk to you off air because you didn't say anything about something. You know what you know.
You're right, and I don't talk about that stuff off air. Oh, wait, we've got a news flash coming in. Let's go to the newsroom. And now, from the Beyond Goose Nuts, Mabo, talk to us.
Hey, Mabo-san here. Hey, Bray Wyatt, torn a ligament in his shoulder. After 6 months for surgery, torn pectoral muscle. He's knowing, but he be FCW. Hey, that is Bray Watch 2012.
Now for the English version, please.
And this will be, Eddie, an ongoing segment with the Japanese news music. And for those of you who are just offended, suck it. I don't care. Hey, Akira Tozawa, new Dragon Gate champion. Hey, anyway, okay, stop. Yeah, no, he was injured a couple of weeks ago in an FCW event. But he was injured enough that they ended the match pretty quickly. I want to say it was Seth Rollins and Leo Kruger, or Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. I don't know. Anyway, Bray Wyatt, Husky Harris, torn pectoral muscle.
Okay.
Going in for surgery.
Ouch.
As you know, myself and Wicked Nemesis, big proponents for Bray Wyatt, Husky Harris.
Yes. All three of us are. Thank you.
Oh well, you don't put him over like we do. But he, is having surgery this week. They're saying 6 months, but he said on his Twitter account that he will not miss out on FCW, or I'm sorry, NXT, because that's what will be taking over. Bright House Network has been notified by the WWE that once the FCW contract ends, they're going to start showing NXT. But for those who haven't seen, I think NXT is 3 weeks into the new season.
Okay.
For the international markets, so I don't know how far behind they're going to be, but all the best to Husky, Bray Wyatt, and I want to say personally, and I tweeted this, his little vignette that he had this past week on NXT. If you take that and any of the other ones that they have filmed, mainly for NXT, you could splice in a couple of FCW ones where he's not in the ring, or it's just him standing there talking. You could splice those together, and you could have a sick-ass, horror thriller trailer. Because it's creepy. And big ups, Brody Lee. I definitely saw Brody Lee this time. I don't know if he's going to be one of his followers, or if they were just using him and a couple of the new signees as, just fill in. But there was a crazy girl up in a tree laughing.
That narrows it down.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's somebody new that they've signed, but...
We did Crazy Chicks.
Huh?
We dig Crazy Chicks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We all know here Beyond Ringside, because we've dated them and married them.
Oh, God.
We dig Crazy Chicks.
Yeah, nice.
So that is your Bray Watch 2012 for this week. Tune in next week, where you'll hear Dr. Bob say...
I have no idea what Dr. Bob would say. I mean, you set me up. You didn't set me up on that.
Dude, it's the Muppets. Come on, man.
Oh, okay. Bring back the frog.
Rolf played Dr. Bob.
I know. But you said Muppets. First thing popped in my head are Statler and Waldorf.
Oh, my God. Can we put them back on announcing on Raw?
Yeah, I like that idea. That was funny as hell.
That was the best. But, yeah, so that was your Bray Watch 2012.
And for the... Oh, did I need to play the music bed going out of it?
Yes, whenever you say Bray Watch 2012, you got to play it again.
Well, you didn't tell me what the setup was going to be, ding dong.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Media Man.
You know you want to do the Japanese thing again. Go ahead.
Hey,
이놈의 새끼 봐. 전 이번에 내지마. 아이 새꼬르비사. 세미나이 호딜 거냐. 저 고치라. no, 이 Toyota factory blow up, boom.
We're going to get so sued sooner or later. You know this.
Dude, there goes our numbers over in Japan.
Oh, no, they'll probably quintuple next week, which means 6 people will listen. And from that Vietnam.
Well, look, let's put it this way. I've seen Pearl Harbor, and I know what those guys can do, so...
that was bad.
We would like to formally issue an apology to all of those over in Japan.
I ain't apologizing for anything. You can make fun of me. I can make fun of everybody. I don't give a damn. And you're the one who said it was Japanese music. I didn't.
Well, come on, everybody. Okay, people in the chat room. Does that not sound like Japanese newsroom music?
I can't get over to the. I'm working on the chat room. We're having hang-ups on Ustream. The broadcast is going. The broadcast is going fine, except for the hum. Other than that, now let me go ahead and say this before I go any further.
And before you say that, everybody enjoys a good hum.
There you go. Well, at least most people do. And from this vantage point, we are scheduled to be joined. We're working to finalize everything. Professional wrestling star J-Rod is scheduled to join us next Sunday here on Beyond Ringside, 6 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. And
can I just say something about J-Rod real quick?
Yes, you may.
Phenomenal in-ring guy. Pretty good charisma. Unlike most of the other yard tards that you see out there, in good shape, but face like a worn-out catcher's mitt. Good God, man!
You know he's listening right now.
I'm sorry, I don't care, J-Rod. I think like I said, I think you're a really good hand and everything, but dude, seriously, it's not like a catcher's mitt with eyeballs. Learn to exfoliate or moisturize something, brother. Seriously, woo.
And at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern next Sunday night, we are scheduled to be joined right here on Beyond Ringside. And I'm hoping I pronounced the last name correctly, because I know there's 3 ways you can say it, and it's been a while since I've actually heard the name pronounced. Some would say that he can be called the Soul Assassin. Others will say that he is one half of the Dark City Fight Club. Corey Chavis going to be joining us. Chavis going to be joining. That was my first choice, and I screwed it. Screwed the pooch.
Yeah, it is Corey Chavis.
Corey Chavis is scheduled to join us right here on Beyond Ringside, and I'm greatly looking forward to that interview.
I know he's a bad man, Pajama.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Okay, little side note here. I don't care if we got time.
We do.
Like we got anybody booked.
We don't.
No, not till 7 o'clock.
There you go.
Which, by the way, I might order Destination X. I don't know. Anyway, quick Corey Chavis story. First time I saw Corey Chavis was live. I mean, I've been seeing his. Of course, I didn't see him dead. I saw him live. I've been reading his name though in the the websites and the magazines and all that. Back when he was going by Rain Man.
Yep.
And I was fortunate enough. I rode with Brian Sterling, Adam Diamond, and I want to say Scott Resner was with us. Anyway, we were in
Pimp Juice.
Yes, Pimp Juice. Brian Sterling's lovely wife, Callie. Hey, Callie. Like they're listening. Brian's probably listening though. So what's up, B? We drove over to Georgia for a show that was done outside in a car dealership on Blacktop in like July or August. It was hot. I know that much. And you've always heard the term bantered about, hotter than Georgia asphalt. It was hot. But in the first match, or one of the first matches I saw, was Corey Chavis, Rain Man, taking on another fellow, big fellow. Haven't heard from him in a while. So if anybody knows where he's at, Onyx. Large. Now, for those of you who don't know, both those gentlemen are African American, and they wrestled on a blacktop outside, and the ring canvas was black. And you want to talk about those guys probably dehydrated from being out in that sun.
I'd say studs in that particular regard if you take that. Oh, damn.
I mean, I don't know if Corey, I'll bring it up to Corey, next week, but let's put it this way. If just they, oh my gosh, I don't see how they survived. Let's put it this way. If Sheamus would have been out there, he would have burst into flames. So those two guys, and they put on a heck of a match. And I think, believe it or not, I think the locker room was like a like a movie star trailer for everybody off to the side.
Yeah, I've worked in one of those before.
Yeah, well, usually you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the first time I've seen Corey Chavis, Rain Man live, and that stuck. There's very few, moments that where I sit there and look at people like, holy crap. That one was, Corey Chavis, Onyx wrestling on the Blazing Sun, all the exact opposite side of the coin, is to steal one of your chestnuts there. I was fortunate enough to ride with Mr. O'Hagan and Timmy Feldman up to Kentucky to see old GCW alumni Seth Skyfire wrestle for OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling. He was scheduled to take on Rey Mysterio for the World Heavyweight, or the WWE Heavyweight Champion.
Right.
Or was it the World Champion? He was scheduled because he had won a tournament or something. And this is back before a lot of people got called up, Eddie. Before Deuce and Domino got called up, before Crime Time got called up, before Cody Rhodes got called up, Gavin Spears. Who else was there? Roadkill from ECW. This was back in the day. And the first match was a tag team gauntlet. And they went up there, although, those three teams, Spears and Cody Rhodes, Crime Time, Deuce and Domino, there was a couple other tag teams, in the middle of a thunderstorm. The show was going to be out in the Batman Arena. For those of you who've ever been to a Six Flags, know about the Batman stunt show. And I'm not just talking about a thunderstorm, I'm talking like lightning, everything. The ring was filling up with water, and those guys, safety aside, they put on a show best they could for the people until they literally had to call it because of electrical storm problems.
Right.
So, like I said, it's you want to talk about dedication or whatever. When you see guys like that go through extreme heats or lightning storms, it's just that at outdoor shows, people don't understand how grueling outdoor shows can be. Even if it's like even if it's a deathmatch tournament. If you're not like perfect weather California or whatever, then it's not just in the ring, it's and the fatigue and everything. You've got the elements to deal with, so big ups to them. And plus OVW, even though they didn't get to do the show, they did set up meet and greet tents, and everybody got CM Punk was there before CM Punk got called up. First time I ever got to meet CM Punk in person.
Mabo.
No, I met him at Ring of Honor.
Mabo.
Yeah.
Good friend of ours, Daryl B, over in the chat room.
Hey, Daryl.
Said that he thinks, and actually he mentioned the name a minute ago, and I'm going to take this one step further, so I'm not going to give total credit where credit isn't due, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due because he got the idea into my head.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about you, but I think for that special exclusive news segment, I think you should get in touch with a good friend of ours, Nigel, to see if Nigel would do the news exclusives.
Oh, I don't know if Nigel, because he's British, it's Japanese.
So?
They haven't been really good friends since the Revolutionary War.
Well, welcome to multiculturalism. We're all stuck in the middle.
Since
wait a minute, Nigel's British?
Huh?
Nigel's British?
Well, that's what it says on his immigration papers.
Oh, okay. I thought he was from, Kentucky or something. I don't know.
No. That's what it's on his immigration papers. It says Great Britain. I think he does it just to avoid taxes. I don't know. But I can make a phone call. So
cool. So let's see if we can get Nigel to do the news exclusive starting next week here on Beyond Ringside.
Now, are you talking about for him to do Bray Watch 2012 or
sure.
Any news exclusives?
Sure. Bray Watch.
Oh, we're going to get sued by WWE and David Hasselhoff.
I don't give a darn. What are they going to sue me for?
Your mock turtleneck collection.
Oh, you read that storyline too, huh?
No, what? Is there a storyline?
Funny.
Is it really? Wait, what's going on?
It's a long story. It's based out of the fan forum over on Facebook for the company I work with.
Oh, well, you'll have to catch me up off there.
Oh, then you haven't seen the bit that, oh, Lord. I'm going to go ahead and pop the gasket or pop the cork on this because I didn't pop a gasket on it because it was funny as hell. For those who listen, like I said, it's no secret that I work with Global Championship Wrestling here in Alabama. And
shut the front door.
And on Facebook, there is a fan forum set up as the GCW Pro Wrestling fan page, which is a group. And in that group are two people that I've come to know through the shows as well as through Facebook, and it is Robert Cosper and Stuart Couch. And they do.
Why does the name Robert Cosper sound so familiar?
they do a web gimmick every once in a while called Cause and Effect. And they had a special guest on one of the recent episodes of Cause and Effect, and that special guest was Faster Eddie Lane, Remy, and did an absolute. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was funny as hell. So I will say that for our friends in the Central Alabama area, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, in the southeastern U.S., check it out when you get a chance to the GCW Pro Wrestling fan page, and you'll see the link to the new Cause and Effect, where Faster Eddie Lane, Remy, makes a very special guest appearance. So, and also Rem, thank you, brother. It's many props still coming your way on that. So, and one of the topics of conversation was the difference between a turtleneck and a mock turtleneck. Which everybody knows who knows me knows the fact that I'll wear mock turtlenecks because I'm low maintenance and they're easy to work with. I am a very simple person in this particular regard. Give me comfortable shoes, give me comfortable clothes, give me a comfortable chair in my office where I can spin around from monitor 1 to monitor 4 in no time flat, and we're all good to go.
I thought a mock turtleneck was where you just made fun of a turtleneck.
No.
Oh.
A turtleneck is one, flip over twice, flip over 3 times. Mock turtleneck just looks like it's been flipped.
Okay, didn't know that. Anyway, back to wrestling.
Yeah, really.
And that was Fashion Week with Fast Eddie Lane. High fashion. Stylish. Sazzle. Eddie Lane.
Okay.
That's a news. That's not fashion.
You said fashion news. Yes, you did.
That's fashion. That's not Japanese Bray Wyatt 2012 watch thing there gimmick. Anyway, what else wrestling we got going on? Oh, Andy, did you hear who asked for their release and is gone from TNA?
Angelina Love.
Oh, dude, don't. Oh, my God. So stepped on my gimmick.
Well, I knew the answer this time.
Let's try that again. Hey, Eddie, have you heard who asked for their release and got it from TNA?
No, Mabo. Who asked for their release and got it from TNA, Angelina Love? I was going to go for the Mr. Subliminal Kevin Nealon gimmick, but I held off on doing that. Continue, please.
Hey, Eddie, have you heard who asked for their release and got it from TNA?
No.
The pretty Angelina Love.
There you go.
Not Leatherface. Which, by the way, she does not need to be in a commercial. I kid you not, I was watching it this morning. I about pooped my pants. I was like, oh my God, scared the mess out of me. I couldn't even eat my SpaghettiOs for breakfast. Anyway, yes, Angelina Love. She asked for her, and then I find that kind of odd because, was she not? And correct me if I'm wrong. And anybody out there listening, correct me if I'm wrong. You usually do, but I don't care. Was she not all like on Twitter when old Chuck Hogan there when she was coming in? Wasn't Angelina all like, ooh, we're going to be BFF on the show, and we're going to be this, and I can't wait for my BFF to show up. And then she never, when old Chuck Hogan there showed up, she freaking, Angelina Love we never saw from her again, and then she's skippity-dippity gone.
Right.
Do you not find that kind of weird?
It's TNA. I've given up. I'll watch the show, which actually this week was a good show. I think they did a great job setting up for Destination X, but as far as the behind-the-scenes stuff, sometimes it just gets preposterous, it gets insane, it gets idiotic, and it gets downright S to the T to the oopid.
Well, that's just true. But here's the weird thing, for those who know, and she's gone back to calling herself Angel Williams, but for those who may remember, she was signed to a WWE contract.
Yep.
She was with Deep South over in Georgia.
Yep.
And there are some speculations that maybe she's going back, maybe she will sign with WWE, maybe she won't. And if she does, that goes all the way back to the first segment of the show as far as, will WWE sign her? Because, with her formerly being in TNA and the whole lawsuit between TNA and WWE.
Do you think it'll hinder her possibly going to WWE?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, and I would like to hear if anybody's listening. I would like to, I don't know. Can you see in the chat room?
Yes.
Okay. I would like everybody else's opinion. Anybody who leaves TNA, Impact, whatever they're calling themselves this week, anybody who's leaving at this point, asks for their release, contract runs out, whatever. Because of this lawsuit, do you personally think that it's going to hinder them getting a job with the WWE. I'm going to be honest and say I think it will. I think it's going to maybe cause a kerfuffle, unless it's like a big name.
Right.
And I'm talking like a Kurt Angle, an AJ Styles, a Sting, even also, you know, even though he's not as prominent in the limelight anymore, but he's still pretty good. Samoa Joe, you know, those type guys. I think it wouldn't hurt them, or it wouldn't slow them down. But you know, most of your knockouts, most of your X division guys, they look. You know, WWE hires fake boobs and tight butts, but you know, any of those guys, X division, your mid card guys. I think it would be. I think they're going to have trouble because of this lawsuit. That's just my opinion. What's yours?
We'll work on that concept right after the break. We'll be back in 5 right here on Beyond Ringside.
The biggest bands in rock, the wildest stage shows on earth, the biggest live event of the summer. Kiss and Motley Crue. The Tour 2012. It doesn't get any better than this. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. 2 iconic bands, 1 historic tour. Kiss, Motley Crue. July 31st, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Reserve seats are on sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com or charge by phone at 800-745-3000. Kiss and Motley Crue. Buy tickets at livenation.com.
Hi, I'm Drew Brees, NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, here with Bugs Bunny to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
This is Angel, half of the Double Trouble Morning Team on Distant Thunder Radio, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like fish sticks. Fillets, I get, but sticks? Maybe we can just compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with Brie?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Darrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside, and you are a better person for it. Trust me.
Foreclosure is hard on every member of the family, but your family is not alone. If you're struggling with your mortgage, there is help. To learn about the government's Making Home Affordable program, visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE to speak to a HUD-approved housing counselor. It's free of charge. Visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE today. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, NeighborWorks America, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Joe Elliott from Def Leppard for RAD. Planning on going out and having a party? Great, have a lot of fun. But do me a big favour and don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives. You should too.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hello, this is Robin Zander.
Hello, this is Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick for RAD.
Some people think it's fun to drive drunk, but that's unacceptable.
Be smart. If you drink,
don't drive.
Think ahead and choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans from around the world, I'm Lightning Mike Quackenbush, the master of 1,000 holds, and you're locked in for Beyond Ringside.
Citizens of America, this is a message from feedthepig.org. Americans spent more money than they earned in 2005. This is the first negative savings rate in the U.S. since the Great Depression. America, we must start feeding the pig. On the 1st and the 15th, we must pay ourselves before we pay anyone or anything. We must make a budget. Even consider cutting up a credit card. Log on to feedthepig.org today. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is your boy, Miggity Mabo, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
There once was a boy wizard whose name was Larry Smarter.
Larry, why weren't you in Professor Dinky Doodle's mythical creature classification class?
Well, I'm taking Algebra 2 in a foreign language.
Oh, so you can talk to unicorns?
Not exactly, unless they're French.
Larry wanted to go to college, so he visited knowhowtogo.org to find the classes he really needed. Getting into college doesn't happen magically. Learn more at knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
This is Dan the B7, the only Triple Crown champion in the UFC history, and you're listening to Beyond Ringside. You better pay attention, otherwise I know where you live.
Live on a Sunday night. Welcome to Beyond Ringside. Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel. Mabo, come on back in.
Hey, Eddie. You know how you know it's a work in TNA Impact?
Yeah, they're talking about it.
Well, no, it's the fact that the group that jumped Sting a couple weeks ago,
yeah,
they started up a Twitter account, and I think they're called Aces and Eights or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, Hulk,
Okay, keep going.
And Hulk received a letter, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, this past Thursday night on Impact, and I swear to you, it looks like it said, and I quote, in the letter at the bottom, "This is not a work." And I'm
oh
like,
my God!
Work?
No, this is not a work in the damn least.
But I mean, did it not say that? I mean, somebody go back and look that up. See if it actually the letter, because I've already deleted it. Wait, no, I didn't. Did I? I think I did. I don't think I did.
You may have.
I can go back and look. All right, I'm gonna go back and look.
Okay.
I can't really see because I can't put my glasses on because the side of my head's swollen.
You know, I'm going to sit back and say this. TNA Wrestling later on tonight is going to be having the World Heavyweight Championship match between soon-to-be former X Division champion Austin Aries and current world champion Bobby Roode.
Wait, I thought he was already former because he gave back the belt.
Okay, he's former.
At least I think he gave back the belt.
Yeah.
Did he get back the belt?
Now, here's the thing. Why can't they do the build-up for all their main events the same way they've done this one? They've done a good job on it. Now, granted, the fact it can be a little bit repetitive because you can't just build negativity. Try to say that 3 times fast. Guess what? It ain't happening.
Negativity.
Sure.
Arr.
Thank you, Captain Mabo. Mabo Sparrow.
Arr.
That may be a new character coming to Beyond Ringside soon, right after Nigel comes back.
Who? Oh, that guy.
Yeah, as soon as we get him back in.
I didn't know he was ever on Beyond Ringside.
Nigel?
No, he was on that other show.
No, he was on Beyond Ringside once, but he also did an appearance on GCW Radio Sunday nights 9 o'clock, which also broadcasts through BeyondRingside.com servers.
Oh, dude, I know what the other thing was freaking Dakota Darso. Can I just touch on that real quick?
Yes, you may.
Dakota Darso himself. But dear Dakota, stop. Please. You know, you tried last year, going into Destination X. You tried this year. You got your nose busted open. You're not going to be your daddy. You're not going to be better than your daddy. Go back to bouncing at bars or whatever you do, working the independents, claiming you were signed to WWE, but just stop. Just.
Now, loaded question.
Loaded baked potatoes.
Joe and Angle, AJ and Christopher, Aries and Rude.
Wait, hold on, Eddie. Let me stop you, but hold on. I got the letter.
Okay.
Okay, Hogan's. Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot. It says see you next week. Not this is not a work. That's my bad. I owe TNA an apology. I mean, they owe me several dozen apologies, but
especially for all those times we sat wasted 2 hours plus.
Apology. My bad, TNA. I thought you actually really did something stupider than normal. That's my bad, yo. I'll admit when I'm wrong most of the time.
I have to ask. This is a X Division based pay-per-view. Always has been, always will be. Yet they're including the Bound for Glory series on here with Joe and Angle, which should be a great match.
Well, yeah, but see, not to cut you off, Eddie, but you got to have something to break up the X Division tournament. So
last man standing match, AJ Christopher Daniels, it would steal the show on any pay-per-view in God's creation, and if it's a main event in a pay-per-view, it's worthy of a main event.
Oh, but Eddie, here's the thing though that TNA can make the argument for. You said X Division, correct?
Yes.
Both Joe and Angle have held the X Division title.
Kurt has not held the X Division title.
Well, crappity crap. You want to put some money on it?
Nope.
Because at one point he was holding one half of the tag titles. I don't know if it was still if it had been made Impact. It hadn't been made Impact yet, but it was in that transition between NWA and the Impact title. He held that, and he had the X Division title because he lost it to Jay Lethal. Yeah.
Okay.
So Kurt had the Impact, or had the X Division title. So, Pachukata. So
okay.
They could technically claim that.
You're right. It was No Surrender 2007. Kurt Angle, Jay Lethal.
See, so technically they could sit there and say, you know, it's an all X Division pay-per-view.
Except Bobby Roode has openly stated he's never competed X Division.
Well, Bobby Roode up until a couple months ago had a Jerry mullet, so.
Jerry mullet?
He had a Jerry mullet.
You worry me sometimes.
Well, he had a Jerry mullet. It was like a Jericho mullet.
Okay.
Like I honestly, if you go back and look on Coming to America, you can see a young Bobby Roode sitting on the couch, leaving a Jericho thing.
Dakota Darso, Rubix, Lars Only, and Mason Andrews. Who do you think is the logical choice to get out of the Last Chance 4-way and go on to compete?
Okay, hit me with the names. I mean, I know who it is, but hit me with the names one more time.
Dakota Darso, Rubix, Lars Only, and Mason Andrews.
Okay, we know who Dakota Darso and Rubix, and he's Mason Andrews. I think that was Scorpio Sky. And who was the Lars Only?
Johnny Yuma.
Not the only.
Right.
And it's official, by the way. I'm ordering the pay-per-view. I'm gonna go. You know what? Personally, you know who I want to see?
Rubix.
I want to see Rubix.
So do
Jigsaw. I'm gonna go Rubix Jigsaw because I think he had out of those four. I mean, definitely not Dakota Darso. Johnny Yuma was Mason Andrews?
Yeah.
He was all right. He took on, what was it, Rashad Cameron?
I think so.
Black G's, Sabian. But I'm going to say, I think out of those four, I think Rubix had the strongest showing. So I'm going to go Rubix. What about you?
I'm inclined to agree. I really am. Phenomenal performance that night. Now, also, they break it down on TNA Wrestling or ImpactWrestling.com. Current X Division stars entered for the Destination X run: Zema, Ion, Kid Cash, Doug Williams.
Yeah, those must have happened on Explosion or something because I don't remember them matches happening.
Neither do I. Also, outside wrestlers qualified for Destination X: Flip Casanova, Kenny King, Rashad Cameron, and Sanjay Dutt, with the last person coming from the four-way.
Yeah, which, I mean, not only do you run the gamut of X Division wrestlers right there, and you know everything from the lucha style to the Japanese strong style to the British cat style to the American style. I mean, you know, that's going to be a tournament right there to keep your eye on. It's going to be amazing.
Well, remember, you've got 4 matches. You're going to have the Last Chance 4-way. Then the winner of that goes on to compete in the first round, and the winners of the one-on-one matchups go into the Ultimate X.
Ultimate X, yeah.
Now, my hat is off to Impact Wrestling for putting that together the way they did. I think personally, I think they did a great job on that.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it's guys that either you have never seen before, or it's guys who you've not seen in a long time. I mean, other than Botchamania, Zima Ion, when's the last time you not watched Explosion? When's the last time you saw Kid Cash or Doug Williams?
It's been a few weeks.
Impact?
It's been a few weeks.
Few weeks, try a few months. With Kid Cash, it's definitely been a long time.
Well, yeah, it has. Now, actually, one person I would have loved to have seen come back for this would have been Petey Williams.
See, I actually had the discussion with that with somebody at work the other day.
Okay.
But I just don't know. Well, it would have been great to see him come back, but would he have stayed? I mean, even for one night, I think it would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Just and he might be a little tiny dude, but oh my gosh, he was. I mean, come on.
I remember he did Little Papa Pump.
Think about the first time you saw Petey hit the Canadian Destroyer.
Yes. The words that I said I will not say on this show.
Oh, holy fecal?
Holy intercoursal fecal.
Ew. Holy fudge packing fecal.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But only you would think of that.
When he pulled that off, just
sick flip pile driver.
Yes. Anybody, if you're a wrestling fan, I don't care if you're a fan of sports entertainment or of wrestling, no matter what the style, if you weren't talking about that to your friends after the first time you saw that, then I got nothing for you. All I can do is throw wasps at your head and hopefully they'll sting you to death.
That is so not right. Let's go ahead and run this real quick. If you have to make a prediction right now, the logical progression, and defying logic, that is what TNA does best. I'm going to go ahead and say I'll put my money right now on Kenny King.
See, here's the thing with that. Everybody's going to be expecting that now. So, does TNA expect what everybody's expecting that they expect them to expect, or are they going to expect others to expect that they're going to expect that, but they're not going to expect them to do that?
TNA is expected to be predictable in most regards. Normally, when they go away...
At this point, well, hold on, though, Eddie. At this point, especially with the kerfuffle with Ring of Honor, do they want to legally cover their butts and make sure they don't put the X Division title on someone who may be barred for a little bit? You know what I'm saying?
Doug Williams.
Oh, I don't know. Who we got again? Okay, not Zima Ion.
Hell no.
Kid Cash, probably not. Doug Williams. I think it would be nice to see Doug hold it again, but no. I'm gonna pull one out of left field. Like I said, it's predictable that Kenny King would win it, but at the same time,
Rashad Cameron.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Rashad Cameron or Rubik's, if he makes it into the finals.
If he makes it. Now, I would like to see him there, but by the same token, remember he's using a Chikara bit, and I know that Chikara has got upcoming events on July 28 and July 29.
Yeah.
And the question is whether or not
he'll make it into the finals. But I'm going to put my money on, if the predictable, of course, will be Kenny King. The unpredictable, I'm going to say Rashad Cameron.
Let me see something real quick. Well, actually, no. The only thing that, I'm looking at Chikara right now on their site to see if Rubik's is being advertised for the 28th. Kingston Del Rey is being advertised. Frightmare Ophidian is being advertised. And Young Lions Cup 10 Eliminator 3, Jive and Jimmy versus Cameron Matthews versus 222 versus Cobalt. And also, I do believe, according to this, Nick and Matt Jackson are returning to Chikara for this show.
Probably.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know what, though? I mean, I think he'll make it to the finals. I'm going to go Rashad Cameron, though. My gut's telling me, if you stay away from the predictability of it, I'm going to say Rashad Cameron.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be a logical choice. But then, by the same token, you have to remember, TNA does have a tendency to get predictable. They also have a tendency to try to play it safe, but also, when they try to play it safe, normally something stupid happens, and I think that's the easy way to say it.
And also the only detriment that would be against Rashad Cameron is that he's really short.
So they could pull events and be like, screw talent as long as they look good. So
I don't know. But I think old Black G's, old Fabian, old Rashad Cameron there, he's gonna walk away with it.
I would like to see Doug Williams back with the belt. My feelings wouldn't be hurt if Sanjay Dutt made it all the way through.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know about Dutt. I mean,
and what's to stop him with going with somebody completely off the radar like Flip Casanova, because nobody's really talking about him.
Yeah, didn't really have much. He had a good showing, but I don't know if the fans connected with him.
Everybody has a off night. You can have a 5-star match, but if the fans aren't connecting with the match and the individuals in the match, sorry, I had a hiccup. But you can normally get a second chance.
Yeah.
And remember, what you connect with, I might not. What I connect with, you might not. So there's no guarantee that any one particular person is going to, well, with the exception of O'Hagan or Mr. Blur, you got to listen to GCW Radio later tonight. I'll give you the clue on that. I'll tell you off air. But by the same token, you know, there's a lot of wild cards in play. So that is honestly why I'm going to say that Destination X is actually a must-see pay-per-view, because they're taking advantage of the wild cards. And if they do this right, people are actually going to be speaking of TNA and Impact Wrestling in a positive light for quite a while to come. And pay-per-view starts in about 10 minutes from right now. AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels.
I don't know, because I don't think they're through with the
baby daddy crap.
Yeah, I don't think they're through with that, but oh wait, let's see. Daniels won last time. AJ.
Here's a swerve. Considering how quickly Christopher Daniels called out the fact that Claire's son-to-be is the child of AJ Daniels. Is AJ Styles.
AJ Daniels, is he right up there with Colt Ryder?
Yeah, pretty much. Let me go ahead and copy that right name real quick. Let me copyright that name real quick. Where I'm thinking this is going to turn is the factor of it's going to turn out to be Daniel's kid.
I sat there and said that from day one.
True, but by the
reaction of Daniels when she showed up.
True, but by the same token, I'm thinking in my gut that this Claire chick is going to screw AJ out of the match somehow or another. She's going to be involved with the finish, and she's going to side with Daniels and Kazarian. Don't ask me why I'm thinking this, but for some reason I just smell a swerve. Granted, they've done a good job building up to a last man standing match, but the last man standing stipulation was kind of rushed. What have we done with them that we haven't done yet? What have we not done with them that we can do? What's going to be believable and credible that people are going to be able to invest themselves into? Last man standing match. Okay. I think that part was pin the tail on the donkey.
Hold on. Here's my thing is just my honest opinion about it. Who's to say that? Like I said, you saw. Like I said, based on Daniel's reaction. Why is there a midget walking on the beach? Anyway,
are you watching internet porn again during the show?
No, I'm watching the Destination X preview.
Okay.
Austin Aries. Close enough, midget on the beach, Austin Aries. Who's to say that she's not faking the pregnancy? I mean, did they say that either Dixie or AJ has been to the gynecological people with her?
I don't know if they can honestly try the DNA thing yet. It depends on how far she is into the pregnancy.
Well, I mean, she's got like a bump, but who's to say she's not going to, screw AJ over, pull out the padding, and be like, it was a trick all the time.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put it past TNA, especially if Russo was still booking. I wouldn't put it past TNA to do that.
That whole thing right there is just killing me.
Actually, if Russo was still booking, Bitch would run down to the ring and knock her off the steps, and she would miscarry.
Well, there you go. From that vantage point, I'm really seeing the swerve by Christopher Daniels, so I'm going to go ahead and say last man standing, Christopher Daniels.
I mean, I would like to see AJ, go over, but I don't think this storyline's wrapped up, so it'll probably be a screw job with Daniels.
Okay. Good friend of ours, Daryl B, going with AJ on this one. Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Bound for Glory series match. A match that, even though it's been done before, and you know that these two guys can go at the drop of a hat, I'm seriously looking at the prospect that they're going to pull out something that they haven't done with each other before, so to speak. I'm going to go ahead and say, my gut says Angle, my heart says Samoa Joe. I'm going to go with my heart and say Samoa Joe in this particular match gets the points. And I don't think it's going to be a rear naked choke. I think it may be a disqualification win. Somehow or another, I just got that hunch. Mabo?
I'm going to go Samoa Joe. You know, he didn't really have, I don't know, I can't remember his standing last year in the Bound for Glory series, but
abysmal.
I think he's going to have I think he should have a pretty good showing this year.
Because remember, Samoa Joe had a shutout working for a while. He was over for the longest time.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say Joe. Just, I don't know, like, you know, just everybody's gonna expect Angle to go over because he's been mowing through people. You know, Joe. I think Joe suffered a loss or two, so I'm gonna go Joe.
Yeah, because remember, he opened up with a loss against James Storm 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. He's won one since then, and I believe it was a submission victory. Matter of fact, I think that was the Bully Ray match.
Was it?
I think it was. But from that vantage, because remember, it was Abyss's brother, who slapped Bully in the face and turned around and got Bully got knocked into the rear naked choke and tap out win.
Yeah.
Okay, if my memory was correct. Actually, Daryl's going with a draw.
Yeah, have they done a draw yet?
I don't think they've done a draw yet. But would you really want to see that on a pay-per-view?
If it's Joe and Kurt, yes.
Okay, I'll go with that. I'll agree then. 4 minutes before the top of the hour, Destination X starting in 4 minutes, and in about 9 minutes from right now, we are scheduled to be joined by Richie Guerin of Cage Sport Mixed Martial Arts to talk about their upcoming Cage Sport 20 Mixed Martial Arts show. From this vantage point, let's go ahead and go for it. World Heavyweight Championship match. Austin Aries, Bobby Roode. Mabo?
If Aries wins, it'll be on disqualification. Belt won't change hands. That's if he wins. If not, Bobby Roode.
I smell another rat.
Are you in Pell City again?
No, I'm not in Jasper or Munford either. Where I'm thinking this is going to go, the number one way to keep the momentum on the side of the good guy babyface is to put the belt in his hands circa Ric Flair Austin Idol 1980 something, about Auditorium, and have a glitch in the finish of the match to where the referee changes the finish or changes the end and gives the belt back to the champion. I see this as something that has not been done for a while in any show. And if anybody's crazy enough to do it, it's going to be Impact Wrestling. Find a way. Let Roode come in with a foreign object, with a hard object, and at the end of the match,
thinking old beer bottle.
Nah, possible. You know, go 1, 2, 3. Aries gets the belt. Celebration, and then referee turns around, looks, and is like, "Wait a minute, I didn't see that a minute ago."
So you think he's going to pull a Guerrero?
Conceivable. It is conceivable.
But I think it won't be a disqualification. If it's a disqualification, or he'll restart the match. Roode will hook the tights, roll up, hook the tights, blah blah blah.
Either that, or what? What about the idea of just holding up the belt until Thursday on Impact and let him have the rematch, which will piss off everybody who spent money on the pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Oh, like TNA hasn't done that before.
Exactly.
Like WWE hasn't done that before. 1 week later, WrestleMania rematch.
Yeah, but not the night after the pay-per-view.
They've done storylines similar to that in WWE before, whether not on Raw, but on SmackDown, in order to try to boost SmackDown ratings.
Yeah, but not after the pay-per-view.
Swallow, then talk.
That's what she said.
There you go. Folks, we are going to head for the top of the hour. When we come back, going to be joined by the matchmaker for K-Sport MMA, Richie Guerin, right here on Beyond Ringside. Stay tuned.
Mom, I'm especially at risk for serious flu-related complications. That's why the CDC and American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists recommend that pregnant women like me get both the H1N1 and seasonal flu vaccines. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to protect ourselves and our babies. For more information and to get the facts, go to flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey parents, pick up your kids without embarrassing them with OMGPS, a navigation system that tells you how far away you need to park when you pick them up.
Keisha at mall. Proceed to outer food court.
Thanks, OMGPS.
OMGPS is not available in stores because it doesn't exist. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
You have tuned in and are now live listening to the 3-time NWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Scrapper Anna Pierce, and just like you, I am also locked in. And brother, we are beyond ringside.
This morning, a woman reached out. A man stepped up. Somebody sat down with 16-year-old Steven and taught him better study habits, and suddenly, toughing it out till graduation seemed to Steven a pretty good idea. We're realizing the way we live our lives can impact the way others live theirs, their education, their income, their health. We're not just wearing the shirt, we're living it. Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is Vengeance David Fuller, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi, this is John Andrasik of Fight for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
And this is Kenny Kid Kennedy, master of Kenny's Kempo Karate, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Smells good.
Well, look who came out of his man cave.
Just checking on you and dinner.
Well, your stomach clock is fast. Gonna be a while. Why don't you...
You okay?
Oh,
honey!
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die of a heart attack or stroke. But you can lower the risk. Ask your healthcare provider how. For more info, go to diabetesactnow.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association and the Ad Council.
This is the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano, you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hey, how you doing? This is Joe Walsh. I'm speaking on behalf of RAD. It's okay to rock and roll, right? But don't drive home drunk. If you're drunk, call me up. I have a limo. I'll come and get you.
sleep all day, out all night. I know where you're going. I don't think that's
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Voodoo Lily with Birmingham's Tragic City Rollers, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi, NBA forward Kevin Durant from the Oklahoma City Thunder, here with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you'll have more energy to do the things you like to do.
And that's a slam dunk.
Whether you like to shoot hoops like me, skateboard, ride a bike,
or dance on your roof,
be a player.
Get up, play, and move it your way.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
Oh, yes! This is Paul Bear, and some people call me Percy Pringle III. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Let me drive.
How do you know when it's time to give up the keys? When your dog grabs your keys from your lap and your lap is on the floor. Yep, it's Jeff Foxworthy for RAD saying, when you party, be sure to designate before you celebrate.
If you want to make it home alive, Let me drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Please don't drink and drive. It's not fun.
This is the bee's knees, the cast pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
It's me. It's that D to the O to the double G. Always sing next year. Me a doggy style. The road dog Jesse James. And you're locked in to Beyond Ringside. Get it? Got it? Good.
Hi, this is Jamie McMurray here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Want to make a difference? It's simple. Be responsible. Plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters.
I'm gonna live and die in cowboy town.
Hey y'all, I'm Kix Brooks. I'm Ronnie Dunn. And we're Brooks. And Dunn for RAD. And I've got a 4-letter word for you. Don't. As in don't drive drunk.
And I got a 3-letter word for you, as in get the keys.
When you see someone who's about to drive under the influence,
Get the keys.
because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hey parents, say hello to instant style with Fashion On. Just spray and look cool in an instant. What about my bifocals? Hey, I can't see. But your kids can see you, and trust me, they see fashion. Fashion On is not available in stores because it doesn't exist. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hands can do incredible things. This is the sound of 2 hands helping to save a life. It's called hands-only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. Hands can do incredible things, but nothing compares to using them to help save a life. For more information on this latest method of CPR, visit handsonlycpr.org today. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy winning the U.S. Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
To be a good father is the most important job in a man's life, but it doesn't have to be hard. Play catch, go to a park or visit a zoo. Help your child with their homework. Sit down together for dinner. Ask them how their day was. Things get busy, and sometimes we all fall short, but the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Yo,
Yo, what's up? This is the Black Eyed Peas, and we're here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. Music is one of the most important things in our lives, but nothing is more important than life itself. So when you drink and drive, you're risking the life of yourself and the lives of everybody on the road. Don't plan to drive, just plan ahead.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
The following commercial is sponsored by FeedThePig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned.
Nor will we brag about our
huge selection, enormous variety.
We will offer no contingencies like
see store for details. Legal exclusions apply.
Because we simply want to help you spend smarter and save better. Log on to FeedThePig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jamie McMurray here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Want to make a difference? It's simple. Be responsible. Plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
My name is Jamali Rashears, and this is how I live United. Education has been so important in my life, but lots of kids in my community don't have the same opportunities. I'm an advocate and fundraiser for my local United Way. I help promote academic achievement and give kids a reason to stay in school. We also put together events to raise funds and bring our message to the kids that need to hear it most. My name is Jamali Rashears. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and
Aloha, this is Tracy Taylor, all the way from Honolulu, Hawaii, the Island Girl, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
The music plays, the microphones go hot, and we are live on a phenomenal Sunday night. Welcome in to your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, but don't pigeonhole us with sports talk radio. I kind of get offended by that. This is Beyond Ringside, live from the vault in the Full Range Entertainment Studios, Fast Steady Lane behind the control panel. Like to welcome in our very special guest at this time with Cageport MMA, getting ready for their big event, Saturday, July the 14th, Cageport 20. Rich Guerin, welcome into Beyond Ringside. How's your Sunday going?
Not too bad. Thank you. Very good. How's yours?
It's been phenomenal down here. It's been a beautiful day in paradise, a little bit of cloud to cover every once in a while, and it'll be a great day to go hide at a water park if you've got one close by. Go float on the lazy river for a little while.
That would be nice.
And right now, I think the lazy river is the last place we would find you, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. You will not find me in the river right now.
Now, geographic differences in place. Cageport coming up number 20. This coming Saturday, July the 14th. It's going to be at the Emerald Queen Casino, 2024 East 29th Street in Tacoma, Washington. I've had a chance, courtesy of one of the publicists that you have working with you, Matt, and want to say thank you to Matt for all the information he's been sending our way. Great to hear everything that's going on in the Pacific Northwest. Can you give, for those who might not be familiar, give us a little bit of a background on the company?
Well, Cageport MMA is somewhat of a new company. We've been around about 3 years, part of Brian Hallquist Productions. Brian Hallquist is a big name in the Northwest for really good quality pro boxing. He's the premier boxing promoter in the Northwest, and he's done everything from Friday Night Fights to HBO, Showtime, you name it, he's done it. Super 6 of boxing, everything. Stepped into the MMA arena a few years back, and I've been with him for the better part of 3 years now. Former professional fighter, and now I'm just a matchmaker and gym owner and coach.
Now, which gym do you run out of there?
I actually run Yakima Mixed Martial Arts out of Central Washington, Yakima, Washington.
Okay, can people find out about Yakima MMA on the web?
Oh yeah. They can find us on our Facebook, Twitter, We have a website. It's actually being rebuilt right now, so unfortunately I can't send you to a website, but we through our gym we have a ton of talent that fights all over the world, from Brian Caraway, Misha Tate, Julian Erosa, a whole bunch of others too.
Some very recognizable names. By the way,
yes, they started at Cage Sport.
I did not get a chance to tell you this one little thing before we went on air. Be shameless. If there's a chance to get plugs out there, do it, because I'm going to ask you about sponsors before the end of the interview.
Okay.
They love you for that. Trust me on this. Now, first off, how many fights do you have totally lined up for or in total do you have lined up for the event?
10 professional fights.
Okay, so this is all professional, no amateurs on this show.
Yes, we're the only all-pro show in the entire Northwest.
Okay. Now, coming from the state of Alabama, which is where we're based, I always like to find out about sanctioning bodies because different states have different rules, different governing organizations. How is the state of Washington about sanctioning?
Well, as far as the professional side of the sport, we have an athletic commission that runs boxing and MMA. They've been around for some time now, and they run things primarily pretty much the same way they do in California and Las Vegas, Atlantic City. It's a commission that's ran through the state and Washington State Department of Licensing. We work really close with them, being the only all-pro show in the Northwest. In Washington at least. We're in constant contact with the commission, various different people that work for them, and we have a good working relationship with them.
Now, taking a look at the card, you've got some great fights because there are some names that I do recognize. I've had a chance to do a little bit of the homework. However, I haven't had a chance to find out about all of the fighters that are going to be on the card. But one match that is is basically jumping right out at me, and it is a ladies' match in the 115-pound class. Sally Krumdiak, Patricia Vodonik.
Yes, that's a match we've been waiting to put together for some time. They're both fairly well-known premier 115-pound females. They both are just at that cusp of the very big time. They both put in a lot of work and time in their careers, and both have good records. Both have fought solid opponents, and ready to showcase them for us here in the Northwest. They're both Northwest girls. Sally's from Northern Washington, and Patricia is originally from Oregon, I believe. And so, they're fighting in their backyard.
And this is a great opportunity for them, definitely on this card. Now, speaking of women in mixed martial arts, this is something I'd like to ask your opinion of, because you've got some companies that do like to feature women's mixed martial arts and some that have a tendency to shy away from it. I'm assuming by virtue of the factor of this fight coming up on the 14th that y'all don't yes, I'm from Alabama. I can use the word y'all and get away with it in proper context. But I can safely assume that Cage Sport doesn't shy away from it.
No, not at all. We love to showcase our female fighters. I might be a little biased because I've had the chance to train some of the best female fighters in the world, from Tara LaRosa to Misha Tate to several others. And in my mind, they work and train just as hard, if not harder, than the men. They put as much into their fights and their training as the men. There's no reason not to showcase them with every bit of zest and concentration as the men.
Well, see, that's one thing that we actually, and I'm not going to use the word preach, but we really enjoy hearing about here on this show, because we do cover, we do have a very discerning eye towards women's wrestling and women's mixed martial arts, because we don't think that it's featured enough. And we find out about a company that is going to feature a women's fight. It's like, yes, we'll immediately tip the hat, going, if you're going to feature them on a show such as this, you've obviously done the homework, you've had a chance to catch them in action, you know what their background is, and you know that the fans are going to be the winner in the circumstance.
Yes.
And also, speaking of, I understand you made the reference to her name just a minute ago. I understand there might just be a Misha Tate sighting at Cage Sport 20.
Yes, she will be there. That is actually her hometown. So she'll be there signing autographs and talking to the fans. She'll probably be making a short appearance up in the cage to talk to everybody, and maybe make light of some things coming up in her immediate future. And she's there to support Cage Sport, as she's fought on it a few times before. She came up to fight at Strikeforce, and so she's she understands that the shows like Cage Sport are, those are the building blocks for these young fighters' futures. This is where they get their time and their exposure out before they make it up to Strikeforce.
Exactly. And speaking of Strikeforce, in your main event, in the 155-pound class, you've got a Strikeforce veteran in Sterling Ford who's going to be taking on James Morrall.
Yes, that's going to be a good fight. Both very talented fighters. Sterling is coming right off of his contract with Strikeforce. He was in this interesting situation where he was actually, due to lack of inactivity of Strikeforce, was looking to get out of his contract with them for no other reason than they just weren't keeping it busy enough. So we had a chance to scoop him up and get him a fight. And James Morrall is a local guy who has amassed a 6-1 record in MMA as pro, and is looking to step up and see how he does against somebody that's been in the big time.
Now, I'm looking at the different weight classes that are being represented on this show, and you're leaning toward the lighter weight competitors. I believe the heaviest that you've got going is a 185 weight class fight right now with Brent Knopp and Dario Mobley.
Yes.
And I hope I pronounced it right.
For no other reason than availability. The lighter weight classes have more people training in them and competing in them. It's just typical. It's few and far between to see a whole lot of heavyweights and light heavyweights. I've got a few, middleweights and welterweights, but I'm stacked from the 125 to 155 pound divisions as far as talent. I mean, just a grip of talent in the Northwest. We rarely ever have to go outside the Northwest to find very, very good matchups.
Well, as a trainer, I'd like to get your input on this. And there is a consensus, not necessarily a strong consensus, but there's a number of people who make the reference that in the lighter weight classes, you do have a tendency to have more action in a match, as opposed to the heavier. With all due respect, you've got a lot of tendencies in the heavyweight classifications to be more pure wrestlers, or you're going to be going more for a solid ground game, as opposed to being a fist and fire striker. And
that's true.
And you've got the lighter guys who basically will, and I'll use the term for the ladies as well, you've got the lighter weight competitors that have a tendency to, I'll be a lot more energetic when in the cage.
A lot of that's just physiology. I mean, there's no way two giant 250-pound guys can move at the pace that a 140-pound fighter can. There's just no way. And, really, it just boils down to the smaller guys are just basically better apt and able to go at that pace. They do tend to look a little more crisp, a little more well-rounded, and that's just a physiology thing. The heart can only push so hard, and when you're 250 pounds and 6'4", you're just not going to move like a guy that's 145 or 35 or 55. There's just no way. And having a gym that's stocked full of lighter fighters, I do tend to lean interest-wise towards the smaller guys. I think they just make better fights most of the time. That's no slam to the bigger fighters. I was a middleweight as a professional, so I was right there kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
But I love the smaller guys. I don't think that they get showcased enough.
True. In
some of the bigger shows. But they could, in my mind, easily carry a pay-per-view.
Now, straight up opinion, and this is something that I'm 50-50 on. I'm really actually very much on the fence on this question. That's why I like getting different people's answers. Do you find that being a local and regional company, but one that has the reach that Cage Sport does in the Pacific Northwest, do you feel that when you get a show that occurred like last night, pay-per-view broadcast, and even though the main event technically was strong, there were a couple of weak spots on there, and I see from my perspective, in some cases, like I said, it's not most and it's not all, but it's in some, when you have a pay-per-view company that presents a iffy pay-per-view, where you have some fights where like, even though the main was still technically a strong main. That you do get more people who are coming to it because you're actually wanting to get, you're seeing more people turning toward that local company. Do you see that?
Yes and no. I mean, overall what I'm seeing is that, you know, you on paper a fight can look like the dream fight of the century. And as a matchmaker and former fighter, I see how on paper or from, you know, the outside looking in, how a fight could look so great and just fall flat on its face. I see that. And I do see people that say they like to go to the regional shows, one, because they get to watch people from their area who are working their way up to the ranks. And, you know, I mean, it's affordable. It's right in their backyard, and you know, I do get people that say, you know, I'd rather just wait and watch a cage sport or a local show than spend $50 watching a bunch of pros on pay-per-view that I'm only going to see really one good fight. But you know, you get UFCs where there's 6 straight action-packed great fights. You just never can tell where a fight's going to go. You don't know who's going to have an off night. You just don't know. You know, the very first on national television televised UFC, I mean, the heavyweight match between Kane and JDS lasted seconds. I mean, that was such a highly anticipated match, and look what happened. You know, Dos Santos knocked Kane out in, what, 38 seconds?
I believe that's what it was, yeah.
You know, so who could really tell? I mean, I think that the UFC is making it the popularity abroad bigger and the appeal bigger to go see the regional shows. But I think the fans are going to stay loyal. I mean, unless they start seeing things that happen like in boxing. You know, so you know, we have a really good following because we're a consistent, you know, strong local regional show with regional talent, and we do the very best we can to put the best show we can on. And people like that. They come to an all-pro show, so you're not watching 4 pro and 10 amateur fights. You're seeing 10 real professional fights.
You know, and that is something we actually preach on this show, because, and getting back to what you were saying just a minute ago, when people sit back and they see what happens with a national pay-per-view broadcast, without calling any names, and they'll sit back and they'll go, wait a minute, hold up. I'm the first one to tell people, and we are the first people to tell everybody, you don't have to wait for a pay-per-view. You don't have to hope that that national corporation is coming to your area to do a pay-per-view that's going to jack up the ticket prices. When you've got an opportunity to see up-and-coming talent that's working their tails off to establish their reputation, to hone their craft, and to get ready to take that next step, and not to mention the fact of case point scenario with Sterling Ford coming on board, Strikeforce veteran, national exposure, and you get a chance to see these fighters up close and personal at a place like the Emerald Queen Casino next Saturday night with Cage Sport 20. The ticket prices...
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say exactly. I mean, you know, what I try to explain to people is support these grassroots shows, these regional pro shows, even the regional amateur shows, because you never know who you're going to see in 6 months, 10 months, 12 months down the road on the next Ultimate Fighter, the next Strikeforce Challenger show, the next, you know, Ultimate Fight Night. You just don't know.
Exactly.
If you look through our last 3 years of professional fights we put on, we have a laundry list of people who went on to become, you know, marquee names in the UFC and Strikeforce. I mean, Misha was the Strikeforce Women's 135-pound world champ. You know, Brian Caraway made it on to season 14 of The Ultimate Fighter and did very, very well. And, you know, he just a year prior to that was fighting 2-3 times a year on Cage Sport for us. So Sterling Ford is the same, you know, Len Bentley. There's a whole list of them. You know, I mean, I'd have to have my own books with me to point them all out. But Ryan Hallquist and I went through, and we've counted well over 25 individuals who people can pick out and know that they've seen them in the UFC and Strikeforce, and you know, it's just incredible. And
this is the fun part, because when you get a chance to catch shows like Cage Sport 20, it's not going to be a case of where you're going to get this, and you do get this with the national promotions, where they will set up a fight to build up somebody, and we're going to bring back the classic term tomato can.
Yes.
In this particular circumstance, let's look at this. You've got Justin Harrington coming in at a 1-0 record. Just made his debut successfully. First win, first fight. Who's going to be taking on, and I hope I pronounce this right because I haven't had a chance to do my homework on him, but I'm going to say Levi Pasley in the 155 class. And this is a person who's going for their first professional fight. So you know that both of these guys are going to get out there and give it everything they've got because they're working to build their reputation. Levi's coming in there on his first fight, looking to start things out. And Justin's looking to keep the momentum going after that first win, right?
Exactly. And the thing is, what's beautiful about us having a commissioned show is that you're going to see bouts like that. 1-1 guys against 1-0, 4-0 against 5-0. You know, our bouts are all approved through the commission. I don't just say, okay, this guy and this guy. They actually have to go through a process to make sure that the matchings and pairings are legitimate, that nobody's getting handed over, a gimme, if you will. So that's the beauty of a show that is, actually has to go through a process and elimination to make sure that the matches are correct. And I mean, you never know. We've seen it in the UFC and Strikeforce and just about every big show out there. We've seen on paper how a match might look incredible. It turns out to be a snoozer or a quick run over for somebody. You just never know, and that's the beauty of MMA. You just never know how things are going to turn out.
And I've got one that's jumping out at me right now, and both of these fighters in the 185 class are sitting at 2-0. Somebody is looking to avoid getting their first professional loss in the Brent Knopp-Dario Mobley fight, correct?
Yes.
Now, can you give us a little bit of insight on this one?
Pardon me? Yeah, you broke up a little bit there.
The Brent Dario fight. Can you give us a little insight?
That right there, I think is going to be a war. Honestly, they both come from very strong camps. Knopp comes from AMC with Matt Hume, who's just, I mean, you can't say enough about respectful things about Matt Hume. Dario's down there at Oregon training with a couple different high-level camps. He's a tough young man. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it could easily carry, even though these gentlemen are both newer fighters, I've seen them both fight, both as amateurs and in their first pro. I see this being a very, very strong, very, very warlike fight for these two.
And
I couldn't tell you who I think is going to win, honestly.
I'm going to kind of put you on the spot. Taking the main event out of the equation, because there's a reason why the main event is the main event, and taking the ladies' fight out of consideration. Taking a look top to bottom on the card, which two fights? See, everybody wants to go for that one fight. I'm going to say two that do you think have the potential to just make people sit back and go, uh-oh?
Well, let's see. The Chris Wheaton-Benny Benson fight in the 125-pound class.
Okay.
That's a fight you better watch. Chris Wheaton's he's a heavy-handed fighter. We haven't seen a whole lot from him yet because it's his debut. He scored a knockout in the first few seconds of the first round. Benny Benson comes from the lab in Oregon with Robert Follis, so he's training with some of the best trainers in the world. I think this is going to be a really good technical fight. That's one to watch for. Another one you might want to watch for is the Omar Cruz versus Shane Jamie. This is a 1-0 guy against basically in Cruz. He's 1-0 versus Shane Jamie, who is debuting. And, these are both 135-pounders that are looking to make a name for themselves. And I think those are two matches you want to watch for. Another really good matchup here that I really like is the Byron Sutton and Jerome Jones at 175 catchweight. Byron's come in and fought for us a few times. Jerome has. Jerome has moved up to 170. He's found that to be a more comfortable weight class for him. He trains with Sick Jitsu out of Spokane, who's, put out Sam Cecilia and Lyle Beerbaum and just Mike Chiesa, a whole list of really tough fighters. I think that's going to be a really good match, too. So I could try and kind of brag up just about every match on the card.
You're listening to Beyond Ringside Sunday Night Edition. Fast Eddie Lane being joined by Rich Guerin, the matchmaker for Cage Sport 20. Scheduled to go down Saturday night, July the 14th in Tacoma, Washington at the Emerald Queen Casino. Now, Rich, if I could, let me know about ticket prices and availability.
Well, the ticket prices start at $35 for general. You can go to the EmeraldQueenCasino.com website and pick them up via online. Pick them up at the door. I usually, if you want the seats closer to the cage, I would most definitely get in there and buy them sooner rather than later. We're not known for having a whole lot of empty seats at our shows.
Congratulations on that.
You bet. And I don't take any credit for that. I think that the Northwest is really good about supporting their local fighters. Washington State in particular has had MMA around longer than most all the other states. So, we're a little more educated, we're a little more into it, and we have a ton of talent here in the Northwest. So, these fans know it. They come to watch.
Yeah, we spoke off
air.
Their
local fighters.
We spoke off air. Alabama still technically is in our infancy as far as professional MMA and sanctioned MMA goes, and we're looking to make every stride possible to get caught up as quickly as possible, guarantee. Now, if I may, and I made the statement earlier that I was going to ask you to be shameless, sponsors for the event.
I missed that. I'm sorry. What was that?
Sponsors for the event?
Sponsors for the event? I hate to say this, and it might sound horrible, but I usually don't have a whole lot to do with the sponsors of the event. I apologize for that profusely. I'm really not on the promotional side other than, pushing the fighters. Brian Hallquist is the guy to talk to you about all that. I mean, I'm really just the guy that rolls his sleeves up and gets dirty getting the matchmaking done, you know what I mean?
That's perfectly cool. That's perfectly cool. But like I say, one thing that we do try to emphasize, we know that a show like this, you've got some great corporate sponsors lined up for it, and of course we give everybody the opportunity to make a reference for those sponsors because, they love hearing their names. And
oh yeah.
Now, how can people...
I'm probably going to get killed.
It's okay. We both will. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Trust me on this one. Tickets are available through the Emerald Queen Casino website as well as Ticketmaster.com, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I have to ask out of curiosity because I know some companies have their VIP tables and stuff like that set up. Are you doing that as well with Cage Sport?
We basically have the chairs that are seated so far back from the cage, and then of course there is a VIP section that runs around the cage. Once again, I'm not sure what they charge for those or how to get them. That's what you have to check with the ticket office on.
Okay.
I'm typically at the show. I'm writing back with the fighters.
Yeah. Taking
care of guys, and I'm a working matchmaker. I don't just sit back and watch my handiwork. I'm actually back there making sure that they got what they need for the night.
It's super. Believe me, it's perfectly fine.
The best seats in the house is anywhere you sit in the Queen, though. We have a great showroom there.
Now, like I said, for people who are not in the area, is there a chance that they're going to be able to view the fights after the event, or either during or after the event?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to try to? Are you going to try to go for something like internet distribution or a DVD deal on the fight?
I know we've got some things in the works there. I know that we're working hard to get some TV distribution, from what I understand. Brian's, working tirelessly to get us exposed in any way he can, whether it be pay-per-view or TV or whatever. We're just looking to go that route for sure. I know that we just got a lot of things in the works for the future for us.
It's perfectly
cool. That would be incredible to be on TV somewhere.
Well, if I may, allow me to go ahead and say, anytime y'all have got something going on, next time you get ready, and when Cage Sport 21 rolls around, keep us in the loop. Love to find out about it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed all that. I'm sorry. My phone connection's not very good.
It's okay. It happens every once in a while. Keep us posted on upcoming events, and we're definitely going to be watching for the results from Cage Sport 20. Looking forward to hearing some great things. Of course, as always, as you know, it's happening in the Pacific Northwest. But definitely keep us posted on what's going on with Cage Sport. Folks, tell you what.
I'm so sorry. I can't hardly hear you there.
It's perfectly cool. Ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest, Rich Guerin with Cage Sport Mixed Martial Arts, and Cage Sport 20 has just gone beyond ringside. We're going to head for the bottom of the hour break. Thank you for joining us on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, and we will be back right after this.
As a mother, I'm making it a point to get the H1N1 flu vaccine for my children. You see, children are especially vulnerable to serious complications from the H1N1 flu, which could lead to hospitalization and even death. That's why I'm urging parents to get their children vaccinated. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to prevent the flu. Get the facts at flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Charlie!
Hey, did you see that play last night?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and they still lost.
Sure.
You know, when I was playing, what we tried to...
You played in the street.
I played in the service. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the kid, he should have...
Yeah, Hey, you okay?
I don't...
Someone call 911!
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die of a heart attack or stroke, but you can lower the risk. Ask your healthcare provider how. For more info, go to diabetesactnow.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association and the Ad Council.
Energy efficiency interviews are brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Matthew, you know energy-saving light bulbs last 6 times longer than that old bulb in your lamp.
Yeah, well, I don't even live here.
Matthew, dinner's ready.
I never met that woman.
It's your favorite, Matt. Lasagna.
Don't you people knock? Just give me the energy saver.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse? Learn more at loseyourexcuse.gov.
Nancy O'Dell here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, then it becomes everybody's business. So please plan ahead, call a cab or designate a driver before the party starts. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
Baby, you can drive my car.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
And this is Kenny Kid Kennedy, master of Kenny's Kempo Karate.
Hier spricht Tassilo Jung von Western Extreme Wrestling.
This is the Dark Child, Chance Crawford, NWA National Heavyweight Champion.
This is the Temptation, Sean Tempers. This is Jacoby Boykins, a.k.a. the Alabama Ambassador, Mr. 256.
This is the Bee's Knees, the Casper Pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano.
This is Bill Behrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside. And you are a better person for it. Trust me.
If your walls could talk, what would they say? I have sent children into fits of rage.
I am responsible for a child's speech impediment.
I am the reason a child can't read. Just because you can't see lead paint doesn't mean it's not on walls, doors, windows, and sills. Today, lead paint poisoning affects over 1 million children. If your home was built before 1978, log on to leadfreekids.org or call 800-424-LEAD.
Brought to you by the Coalition to End Childhood Lead Poisoning, EPA, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, you know I've had a drink problem and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't do, I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
We all lock our doors at night to keep our family safe, but we can't so easily lock out H1N1 flu.
Truth is, you can. The simplest and safest protection against H1N1 recommended by the CDC is vaccination. The H1N1 vaccine is safe, effective, and the most important step to keeping healthy.
Stop H1N1 at the door. Keep it away from your family.
Get yourself and the ones you love vaccinated. Visit flu.gov to get a vaccination near you.
Be the one to protect your family from H1N1.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi there, this is Sammy Hagar here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Now, style's a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody else's business. Please, plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate, because friends do not let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
And this is Kenny Kid Kennedy, master of Kenny's Kempo Karate.
Hier spricht Tassilo Jung von Westside Extreme Wrestling.
This is the Dark Child, Chance Crawford, NWA National Heavyweight Champion. This is the Temptation, Sean Tempers. This is Jacoby Boykins, a.k.a. the Alabama Ambassador, Mr. 256.
This is the Bee's Knees, the Cat Pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano.
This is Bill Behrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside. And you are a better person for it. Trust me.
Love it, love it, love it. 15 minutes before the top of the hour. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Sunday night. Fast Eddie Lane being rejoined by Mark Mabo Bowman.
Yeah, I still got a big old swollen knot on the side of my head.
I want to thank Rich Guerin with Cage Sport Mixed Martial Arts for taking the time to come on board with us this evening. Great to hear about Cage Sport 20, Saturday night, July the 14th, in Tacoma, Washington, at the Emerald Queen Casino. Working on having to switch headsets because of sound difficulties going through my secondary board. For everybody listening, once again, I know that hum is there, and I'm going to do everything humanly possible to try to get that straightened out before our next Sunday night's broadcast. We do this every Sunday night, 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 Eastern, 4:30 Mountain, 3:30 Pacific. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. There, I covered all 4 time zones. Ha-ha. But from that vantage point, thank you to everybody who's been checking us out on BeyondRingside.com, as well as our Facebook fan page, Facebook.com/BeyondRingsideLive. Yes, Beyond Ringside, Facebook.com/BeyondRingside is us, but with over 5,500 people on the friends list, I can't approve anybody else. So please take the time, go over to the fan page. Also on Twitter, @Beyond Ringside. One word, run it all together. Wicked tried to call in a minute ago, and I wasn't able to catch the phone call in time, unfortunately, but I know that he had a lot going on last night. He was with NWA Top Rope up in Lebanon, Tennessee. So we're going to try to see if we can get him to come on back in real quick. I'm shooting a text out like a madman. You were watching the pay-per-view. Destination.
No, I am watching the pay-per-view. I wasn't not watching it. I still am watching the pay-per-view.
How's it going on the pay-per-view side?
Well, once again, TNA. What did we say at the beginning of the show, or the beginning of the predictions? Who was the most over guy in the second chance group?
For us or for everybody?
Everybody. What was the general consensus? Who was the most over guy in the second chance
Rubik's
group? Who?
Jigsaw.
Okay. Who do you think got the loudest pop? Who do you think got his name chanted? Who, when what's the kid's name? Mason Andrews. Mason Andrews did a plancha out to the floor. He got the TNA. Rubik's Jigsaw did his. He got the holy fecal matter chant. Okay? There are people on Twitter, literally, hashtag Rubik's or riot. Guess who did not go over?
You're kidding me.
I don't kid about that. They put Mason Andrews over, and Kid Cash immediately hit the ring. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this, and you can censor me if you want. Kid Cash is a dick.
Okay.
I don't know about personally, but during the match, he was a dick.
Okay.
Not only did for those who know Mason Andrews, he's a high yellow brother. But still, Kid Cash put red handprints all over his chest, on his back. Yes, there were back chops. No back chops. He kept constantly flipping off the camera, flipping off Mason Andrews. It just, and that's why I was like, you know what, he is not going to win because he's being a douche. And he didn't. Mason Andrews won.
There you go.
In the second match, it was, you know, they've been asking the stars who do they think is going to win between the Bobby Roode, Austin Aries. By the way, I didn't know Samoa Joe was that high in the standings for the destination or for the
Bound for Glory series. Yes, he is.
So,
and they're making it up to him for last year, him going over for the first 2 months.
Well, but remember, he even said his deal last year was he was just out to kill, maim, and destroy.
Right.
Remember, he was just trying to eliminate people from the series. He didn't care if he won or not.
Right.
But Kenny King had a pretty decent match with Doug Williams.
Doug Williams went over, didn't he?
The crowd reaction because I had the volume down, but still turned out pretty good. You know, Kenny King won.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm telling you, it was ridiculous. Like, the crowd was, I mean, you would have thought this was the second coming of AJ Styles with Rubik's.
The kid's got skills.
I mean, and you know what? Somebody even said, you know, that he could be very marketable as far as the masks and everything else goes. So, but
I almost have to wonder if Quackenbush might have something to say about that because being the founder of Chikara Pro Wrestling, and you know that he's still got an active hand here and there from the founder's and the president's perspective. I wonder if the board on Chikara might have a little bit of gimmick control and image control when it comes to stuff that is Chikara intellectual property.
Well, let's put it this way: they wouldn't have let him show up in his gear.
True, and by the same token, remember, I think it was, oh God, I'm going to get crucified for not being able to. Carnage Cup last year, Pinky Sanchez was there.
Yep.
Granted, without the mask, but he was there as Pinky Sanchez.
Well, you also got to realize he was. Oh, sorry, Sanjay just did the standing moonsault stomp right under Rashad Cameron. And Sanjay goes over Cameron. So Cameron will not be winning. We are wrong.
Oops.
What'd I tell you off air?
There you go.
Hulk Hogan don't like black people. He's not going to let more than 2 black people in a match at the same time.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There's that savior word.
Allegedly.
Based on no informational sources whatsoever.
Well, you also got to realize, though, Pinky Sanchez was also known as Pinky Sanchez long before he became Pink Ant. So
true, but he did come out in the Pink Ant mask for a match.
Yeah, well, he came out with it, but you know, like I said, he didn't wrestle in it. So,
but all in all, how's the paper? I mean, are you enjoying the pay-per-view?
Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely. Like I said, couldn't really gauge the crowd reaction to the Kenny King Doug Williams match. I do know that the crowd started doing the Daniel Bryan yes, yes, yes chant. But I mean, it's been really, you know, it's what you expect from X Division guys. You know, there's a lot of flip-flop flying and craziness, and apparently Earl Hebner's trying to molest Sanjay Dutt. But
Earl molest Madison.
She molested him. I mean, I thought that was kind of a stupid payoff, but whatever.
It was a horrible payoff, but I thought it was funny as hell.
Yeah, let's just hope it's over with.
No, I mean, look at the world through different glasses for a hot second. It would have been incredibly obvious for her to go after a wrestler. And I think that that's a jab at some of the underlying drama that's been going on with different people in this industry as of late. And then for her to make Hebner the payoff on that secret crush, or Dream Man, I guess is what it was called. I legitimately think that, you know, I said the word stupid at first and I shouldn't have used that word. Because I honestly think that, yeah, that's actually not bad. It's different. It's something that's not done every day. So I do give credit for originality on that.
I just thought it was, I thought it was kind of a lame angle anyway. But coming up next is get the ambulances on standby. Zema Ion's up.
Oh God.
Let's see. He broke Jesse Sorensen's neck. I still say he's responsible for Saban blowing out his other ACL.
There you go.
So let's just see who's left in the tournament.
Who's left for him to injure?
Oh yeah, I mean, who's he up against tonight? 2-12-12. Why wasn't 2-12? Why are the 2-12-12? Oh, look, we get a retrospect of Jesse. I can't feel my legs, Sorensen. Look, Zima Ion crippled him. Look, we don't need to keep seeing a promo package about the poor kid.
Yeah, I know.
He got draws.
But they'll milk the footage. TNA always. Hell, it's pro wrestling. Everybody milks the footage.
I mean, come on, dude. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Looking at it over and over again, Zima Ion, looked like he was going, was a moonsault or whatever. He did not go out flat. He pulled his knees in. He dropped a knee right on the back of that man's head.
Tell you what, let's go for it. 5 minutes till the top of the hour. Maybo, last call.
Can we talk about Jesse Sorensen's nipples, because they're like sticking through the shirt right now?
Great. Now you sound like Micah Taylor.
What, Micah Taylor's nipples?
No, Micah Taylor talking about nipples on a radio show.
Micah Taylor? Oh, God. Why are they... Stop cracking his neck, please. Jesus. I just want to know if CM Punk now knows how Daniel Bryan tastes, because AJ slobbered all over Goatface, and then she slobbered all over him. So, I wonder if she knows how... I wonder if CM Punk knows how Daniel Bryan tastes.
That's really bad, dude.
I know. But then by retrospect, AJ now knows how Nikki Bella or Brie Bella tastes. Oh, giggity.
Thank you, Quagmire.
Hey.
Is that
I'm sorry, I don't care. I think AJ Lee is hot.
I think she's cute.
She's hot. She's petite. She's like legitimately into comic books and video games and stuff. And she could possibly stab me in my penis in the middle of the night. I mean,
and you'd love every minute of it.
Oh my God, yes. I'm telling you, she's hot.
Is that where you're going for last call?
Actually, I don't really care, dude. I'm watching the pay-per-view.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, who's left in the tournament? I guess we're about to find out who Zima Ion's going to cripple next.
There you go. But by the same token, let's go and take it a last call. Maybo?
Last call.
I mean, not
Jesse
last call, shameless plugs.
I was going to say, last call, Jesse Swords. Really? They got a touchdown pass. That's Jesse Sorensen's entrance video. Is something that looks like it's on the Ding Dang Super Bowl. Seriously? I will say this, the kid is up walking. He's still got the hard brace on his neck. But he's up walking. He's out on the stage there.
Okay.
So, and I don't know, it kind of bothered me how the way when Christy Hemme announced Jesse Sorensen that she leaned back and deep-throated the microphone. Okay, shameless plugs. MA_Bill over on Twitter. Mark Bowman on the Facebook. BevNerd at BevNerd, BevNerd.com. BevNerd on Facebook. Eyewitness Store over there on Facebook. And Creative Concepts there. Look them up over on the Facebook. Bob's Comics. If anybody has any non-tobacco spittle ideas on how to get this giant wasp bug stabby thing off the side of my head, I would greatly appreciate that, because having to wear my glasses sideways is really making me dizzy right now.
Okay.
Seriously, dude, it's like it's freaking hard. It's like a rock, dude. It's like somebody shoved a small stone inside of my head, which is kind of weird because I had the exact same thing on my butt cheek the other last week.
There's the ass reference. He waited this long.
But no. It wasn't on my back cheek. It was on the butt cheek. It was on the crack. And it was like hard as a rock too. So I'm wondering if while I'm asleep, if aliens are putting like, either some kind of devices or rocks, and like monitoring my flatulence and my brainwaves.
Yeah, you do think out of your ass every once in a while.
Out of my ass. I think out of it. I talk out of it.
There you go.
Sometimes I put my finger in it.
TMI right
on,
there.
Why are you crying? Don't cry.
TMI.
Oh, Lord.
TMI.
Not you. No, not you. This lady. She's over there crying. I'm Jesse Sorensen. Zima Ion crippled me. I want sympathy. You know what? At least you can walk, you little turd. I can't even walk anymore.
Do you want to handle Wicked's shameless plugs?
WIKED_Nemesis.
No, it's all one word.
Nemesis on Twitter. Wicked Nemesis on Facebook and Funny or Die and VO and YouTube.
I will not use VO. VEOH. I will not use VO. They put a virus on my computer.
Is he on VO?
He is, but unfortunately, I will not be using VO. So I will say this point blank. I went on VO's website the other day, and I ended up with a Trojan, actually 2 Trojans on my computer. I will not go to VO, VEOH. No way, no how, never again. And from the bottom of my heart, I will wholeheartedly encourage everybody to avoid that site like the plague based on my personal experience. Continue.
Well, hell, son, I don't know. You got his stuff. I don't know. Pull it up on the ooh, look at the boobs on her.
Be sure to catch at Beyond Ringside. One word, run it all together over on Twitter, as well as Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live and MySpace.com/Beyond Ringside. MySpace has been sold and purchased and is undergoing a major facelift right now. So guess what? You may just see a resurgence. So for those of you who are sick and tired of bitching about Facebook, keep your eyes open. There are other social networks out there. We are also on LinkedIn. Google Plus as well. From that vantage point, we do this every Sunday night, 5:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 Eastern. In about 1 hour from now, I will be hosting GCW Radio from Global Championship Wrestling alongside of Ted Guinness, the voice of the underground, also scheduled to be joined by the new #1 contender for the GCW World Championship, known as Mr. O'Hagan. Catch us later. Fast Eddie Lane on Twitter, LAYNE. Run it all together, no underscores. And FastEddieLane.com will be returning in about 2 weeks, so I'm looking to get everything back in play to make regular updates over there as well. Thank you to Rich Guerin for joining us tonight on Beyond Ringside with Cage Sport Mixed Martial Arts out of Tacoma, Washington, the Pacific Northwest. Had a really great chance to speak with him this evening, and looking forward to hearing some great things, even more great things, honestly, out of Cage Sport Mixed Martial Arts. Once again, July 14th up in Tacoma, Cage Sport 20. Looking forward to hearing about it. From that vantage point, you got us. We'll be back next Sunday. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I missed, and of course, I'm going to say it. This coming Wednesday night, back at Papa Sia's for our friends in the Central Alabama area. Papa Sia's in Helena. Thursday night, Buffalo Wild Wings in Hoover. Friday night, Buffalo Wild Wings Alabaster. And next Saturday night, I will be appearing with Global Championship Wrestling, back with the GCW family in Jasper, Alabama at the A&E Fun Center. Let me lean over here and hit this. The music's going to play one more time, and we get to take it home. Like I said, working to finalize everything with J-Rod, professional wrestling star, coming on with us next week at the 6 p.m. Central Time segment. And at 7 o'clock, Corey Chavis, really looking forward to it. Both interviews, both are going to be dynamite. Been wanting to have both gentlemen on air for quite a while, and we're finally getting a chance to get everything finalized. So definitely tell your friends. We'll have the word out. For the missing in action, family committal, still probably trying to procreate, Wicked Nemesis.
Thank you all for listening. Have a good night.
Don't forget to support your local wrestling and mixed martial arts groups. You forgot that part.
He doesn't have to tell you that.
He does.
He says go out and support your local independent wrestling, but he never says mixed martial arts.
He does say MMA.
No, he doesn't.
Go listen to the damn replays.
Why should I? I'm too sexy to listen to.
Well, if you're sexy to listen to live, you'd be even sexier in replay.
Not really.
Okay.
It's not live, it's Mabo.
For Mark Mabo Bowman. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane saying stay tuned to the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and BeyondRingside.com. We'll see you in 1 hour for GCW Radio. Adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abyssinia, au revoir, and until we meet again, aloha means bye-bye. We'll see you next Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, for Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.
Oh, look, the little fruit booty there, Zima Ions yelling at the cripple kid. Spray him in the eyes. Spray him in the eyes.
Daryl, we appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll see you soon.
Oh, who will Zima Ion cripple next?
His own penis.
No. That's Pat Patterson's job, allegedly.
Easter eggs done. We got to go. Bye-bye.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good.